Hello, it's June 16th, 2023. Let's take a look at Bitcoin. First, what I said on Monday. Basically, we were just looking at more sideways chop. I was saying in pretty much all scenarios, I was still looking for that sub 25K area in the near future. And, potentially we were going to see a move back up before dumping. But, the FOMC meeting was on Wednesday, and, pretty much anything could happen, basically. But I was looking for that sub 25K. Now, we have seen that at this point. After the FOMC meeting, it was kind of a delayed reaction, weirdly, but we did see Bitcoin then dump and hit that area. So if you remember back here, about the beginning of May, when it broke below 28.8, at that time I was looking for a retrace into this larger yellow box, which was basically 25K, give or take. So that's that area I've been waiting for. Back here I had this yellow box target on based on the price action we got, and I said since it's not going to hit the larger yellow box below, we're very likely going to get a WXY where we're going to see this kind of head upwards a little bit, which we ended up doing. I put that box on there for the danger zone before then dumping again, and all of that has played out now, and we have finally hit that larger yellow box. So if the yellow bull scenario is correct, which again I'm not convinced of, the bulls have a lot to prove still, but if it's correct, it's possible that the bottom has already been struck. So now I'm going to go into basically what I'm looking for as proof to tell me the bottom is in, but until that proof happens, I'm still looking for lower personally. Now, if this proof happens, then I can look for longs at that point once it proves itself. So let's zoom in here. Arguably, we have a 1 and a 2 off the bottom. I'm working on my laptop here, which is a little bit slower, so sorry for the choppiness on TradingView. So right here you can see arguably that's a wave 1, although in the micro I'm not convinced of that being 5 waves up, but for argument's sake, just to see what it would need to do, let's call it a 1. There's a 2. This is either 3 right here, or it can push a little bit higher for 3. We would need to see a pullback for 4, which again might be happening now, or it might need to go up a little bit more before coming down. But then eventually, whether that 4 is happening now or happens later, we would then need to see it push up here for a 5th wave, ideally to 26.8 at a minimum, but up above 27K slightly would be even better for bulls. So if it did that, if it did all 5 waves, then we would look for a 3-wave pullback. If that looks corrective, that then is the time to look for some longs to capitalize on the next move up from there. Now, is it going to do that? I don't know, and I don't really care. It either does it and then I look for longs, or it doesn't and I continue holding my shorts and ride them down lower. So either way, it doesn't really matter to me. I'm just following the price action. So I can very easily see this continue downwards from here for what looks like we really should do another wave down. Honestly, it doesn't quite look complete yet, but I do just want to keep an eye on this bull scenario so that we know what we need to be paying attention to and what would potentially prove the bottom is already in. So there it is. I'm going to get rid of this little fib extension now just to make the chart a little cleaner. I do have this orange downtrend line on here. It would have, for the bears, would have looked a lot better if it stayed below that trend line. So that's kind of a notch in the bull camp a little bit, but I don't really trust trend lines. I trust price action. And we've seen over and over again breakouts like this that look like they're going to go up, but then end up just failing and dying. Bitcoin likes to screw over as many people as possible, and tons of people pay attention to trend lines, so it often uses them to mess with people. The reason I say it would look better with another move down is I think the best way to count this, as much as you can count corrective action, which it's difficult to count it because it's all just 3-wave moves, but potentially we've got our A wave there. This would be a B wave, and then we'd be looking for 5 waves typically down in C. And again, you know, this is really just like the very top of this yellow box, so it could be done the correction, but it would look a lot better if it went a little deeper into that box. But I think we've got ABC down for 1. Here's our 2. We have ABC down for 3. This would be ABC up for this yellow 4. And then we're basically looking for ABC down for 5, unless the blue scenario takes over and gives us that 5 waves up more imminently. And once again, I'm going to go over to the daily just to go over these scenarios again here. I'm not 100% convinced that this yellow bull scenario is even correct, because we really just have 3 waves up from this 15.7K or 15.5K low. We have an ABC up, right? It could be bullish if we get an ABC down into this larger yellow box. But it's not guaranteed. It's not guaranteed to be bullish at all because we just have 3 waves. It relies on this being a leading diagonal, which is super unreliable. So it's quite possible that this instead is one of these bear scenarios, either the orange wave 4 or the bearish wave, red wave 2. Either one is bearish. The orange scenario takes us down here for wave 5 to about 12K, and the red scenario would take us eventually down potentially as far as like 1500 again, which would be kind of crazy, but it is possible. So yeah, anyway, I do not trust yellow scenario until it proves itself, which means I'm not going heavy on longs. As I said, I'm still short currently, and just letting the price action dictate my next move, because this can very easily continue crashing down either further into the yellow box or down even further, going into a new bear market after that little bull market rally we had off that 15.5K low. All right, so I think that pretty much sums up everything about Bitcoin right now. We'll see what happens over the weekend. I'll touch base again on Monday. We'll see if anything's happened at that time. All right, everybody, have a great weekend. I'll talk to you then.